Can you guys hear me? What? So I have really sweaty hands. I'm hoping I don't drop the mic. So thank you guys for coming out this early. The mornings are a very horrible thing, and you guys are all here and look more awake than I am. So let's do this. So, oh wait, look at that, it moves. So my name is Piascik. I'm an illustrator, and that's just like a fancy word for someone who somehow makes drawings and gets paid for it. So, all right, are you guys getting brainwashed yet? So the theme for this talk is work, and though most would call me a workaholic, sometimes it kind of freaks me out to call what I do work. To be honest, I often think that someone's going to find out what I'm doing for a living and be like, "Hey, what are you doing? You got a real job, you hippie." I'm hoping he's not watching this talk, so hopefully we're okay. So in order for me to talk about work and what it means to me, I need to kind of bombard you with a lot of my own work, so I'm sorry about that, but hopefully you guys are all here, so that's what you guys are going to see. So let's go. So to start this talk, I'm going to show you a whole bunch of logos that I had absolutely nothing to do with. Though they were pretty crucial in me becoming who I am. When I was a little kid, I used to take apart the album packaging around my house and redraw my own. My favorite part was usually, by the way, I'm battling a cold and I'm congested, so my voice just cracked. I'm not hitting puberty in front of you guys. Not yet. Maybe later. Anyway, so my favorite part of redrawing the album packaging was often doing the band's logos. I think at one point I had that Aerosmith logo pretty dialed, but I don't think I can do it anymore. Now that I actually know about lettering and type, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So, and you guys might notice everything I do basically is that Piascik logo over and over again. So one time when I was doing this as a kid, I think it was my uncle, he came over and he was like, "Hey, you're gonna be a graphic artist one day." And I'm like, what does that even mean? What is a graphic artist? He's like, "That's the person who makes this stuff." I'm like, that's someone's job to make these logos and this packaging? He's like, "Yeah, where do you think it came from?" And it totally blew my little kid mind. I'm like, how is this even possible? Why on earth does my mom get up in the morning and go to the post office and sort mail when she can make sweet logos all day long? Again, I was a little kid, so I was an idiot. I didn't know. But that set my path for life. I went to art school. Did stuff like this. Apparently I thought it was a good use of my time to do posters for bands that didn't exist anymore. But regardless, I made it through and I became a graphic designer. I would like to note that I skipped over a couple years where I did a lot of really boring stuff for hospitals and banks. But I finally got a job at a studio in Boston for that guy who fired me. And my uncle was right. I got to do some album packaging. It was awesome. It was fun. He was right. He's not really right about anything else, though, so it's kind of weird. He's probably at a Donald Trump rally right now. So I got to do lots of logos. As you can see, my little secret inner illustrator was kind of poking his head a few times. Can you guys believe Begets a Stylist is a band? That's real. That happened. So yeah, I got to do lots of design work. It was awesome. I was doing posters, more branding, more album packaging. And everything was great, but I realized I wasn't actually drawing for myself anymore. The only drawing I was actually doing was just sketches for design comps and logos. So I decided I was going to start a daily drawing project. And I was just going to draw something, anything, every day and post it to my website. Posting it to my website was important because, one, it would hold myself accountable to the one or two people who might see it. Like Tony saw my drawings at the beginning. And the other thing is, what good is making something if I can't put it on the internet and be like, hey guys, check it out. I made a weird thing. So these are some of the early daily drawings. As you can see, there's lots of words involved. That's for a couple reasons. One, I like drawing words. We've already talked about this. And two, very early on, it would be late at night and I would be in a sheer panic, not having a drawing idea. Because, I made this completely made up rule where I had to post every day. So I would listen to music, watch the news, read stuff, and finally something would jump out at me. It would often be a quote or a phrase. So these are some of the early ones. At the time I started doing this, it was like the end of 2007, and the 2008 presidential election was getting into full swing. So this just provided endless material. I just turn on the news and just wait for someone to say something crazy, and I write it down and draw a picture. So after the election, I was like, I have this whole series of drawings, and I was like, I should do something with them, so I put them together in this magazine-ish format. And this was kind of the first sort of entrepreneurial thing I did with my drawings, where I started to realize, hey, maybe these can be something besides just a quick little blog post. So I made this little book, kind of like a zine, and it was kind of popular. It did better than I thought. People were actually interested in it. So that led me to look back at my other drawings and see which ones I didn't hate. And I picked those, and I was like, let me do little screen prints, set up an Etsy store, and sold them, and it actually did pretty well. So I decided that I would try to do some shirts. So I did lots of shirts for a while. Did shirts for quite a few years. I still do them a little bit, but selling shirts is a nightmare because you never have the right sizes, you run out very quickly. But t-shirts are awesome, so I still do it every now and then. I have no idea what the next slide is. Oh, okay, so after about a year of doing these daily drawings, something weird happened that I wasn't expecting. I was reached out to by a client who had seen my daily drawings. They're this high-end, eco-friendly lunchbox company for kids on the West Coast. And they're like, hey, we saw your drawings, really like them, and want you to do some sticker kits for our lunchboxes so kids can customize them. And this is awesome. I get to draw all kinds of letters and weird monsters and stuff like that. But I totally thought this was a fluke. I wasn't expecting to get work from these drawings because they were ridiculous. But then it happened again. I got reached out to by this, I think it was a magazine about a new music feature, and they wanted me to do this illustration for Surfer Blood. We got the surf, there's some blood. I guess I nailed it. But then it happened again. This agency in Canada had seen my drawings and asked me to do work on a line of snowboard graphics for these kids' snowboards. And I don't really know much about snowboarding, but I was really excited to have my work on snowboards. And I was telling one of my friends about it, who's Ira. I told Ira. I was like, hey Ira, you snowboard, I'm doing snowboard graphics. Isn't that awesome? He's like, oh, who's it for? I'm like, it's just some small company, never heard of them. And he's like, well, who is it? I'm like, it's Sims. He's like, they invented snowboarding? I did not know, and I'm glad I found out after I did them, so I probably would have been really nervous and put out something bad. Not that this is kind of old, so they're kind of bad. Maybe. So, everything was great. I had this really cool design job. I worked during the day, and I'd go home, I do some freelance illustration work, do my daily drawing. And it was great. I was like, this is the best. And then it wasn't great anymore. Aaron, my boss, fired me. However, to his benefit, it was when the economy was totally in the toilet. Like everyone was fired. I think it was just that day where everyone woke up and was like, all right, everyone's fired. Happy day, we're done. So I got fired. Ira got fired. We got fired together. We held hands and walked out and cried together. So at this point, I was like, all right, am I going to get another job as a designer, or am I going to try to make this freelance thing work? And I kind of went back and forth for a really long time. It was kind of terrifying to not have a job. And as I was trying to decide, I got reached out to by the musician Mayor Hawthorne, and he said, hey, I saw your drawings. And I was like, that's weird, awesome. And he's like, oh, do you want to do some t-shirt designs for me? Yeah, totally. I would love to do some t-shirt designs for you. I have no job. So I did these t-shirt designs for him, and he liked them so much, specifically the one at the top with his signature glasses. If you guys don't know him, he wears those glasses. And he's like, hey, do you want to do the lettering for my album packaging and my single? And I was like, yeah, dude, I want to do that. So we took the same lettering, put it on his photo for the album packaging, and then his single. And then it was on Conan O'Brien. Yeah! And that was pretty awesome. It was pretty sweet. So, at this point, I was like, all right, I'm getting a project every now and then. I need to kind of step up my daily drawing game. And I thought back to that election collection. I was like, I need another theme. So I thought, why don't I do a drawing of every bike I've ever had? And for most people, it's probably like 2. But I've been bike crazy my whole life, so there's too many. You probably wouldn't believe me if I told you. But I did a drawing about every bike I've ever owned, and then I put them together in a little book. And something really cool happened when I did this, because putting this book together, it got picked up by a couple cycling blogs, and they posted it on their site. And in that happening, people in the bike industry saw my work, and that was a new thing for me. And it was pretty amazing. And it led to me doing the cover for Dig BMX magazine. And that probably doesn't mean anything to most of you, but for me, this was like, I made it. I read Dig BMX, what did I just say? I was like, Dig BMX magazine, wow, I can't say it. Like I read as a kid, it was like the best. BMX is my life besides drawing. So I got to discover, oh, and my name's on there, check it out. Right there, that's me. And then doing that led to getting to do some work for Standard Bike Company. Standard Bike Company was like what I dreamed of as a kid. Like all I wanted was a Standard, but they were like so much money and I definitely couldn't get one. So the thing about Standard is they're like one of the few companies that makes their frames by hand in the US. So they have like no money to pay me. So they paid me a very small stipend, but I got free custom frames. So that worked out pretty well. What's next? Who knows? Okay, so I did 1,000 of these drawings. And I was like, wow, I have 1,000 daily drawings. So I decided that I wanted to put them together as a book. And given how ridiculous they are and how kind of personal this project was, I realized the only way I could do this was to self-publish it. And this was at the time that Kickstarter was gaining a little bit of traction. If you don't know, I think everyone knows at this point, but Kickstarter is a crowdfunding platform where you could sell like pre-orders of your of whatever you're selling. In my case, it was the book and other items to raise funds to make a project happen. This was really one of the most terrifying things I've ever done. I was convinced that if I started this Kickstarter and it failed, I had to like, I don't know, get a job in Dunkin' Donuts or something. No offense if anyone works at America runs on donkeys, so not me though. Okay. But anyway, it worked. I got to do this, I got to make my book. And it was pretty amazing. My Kickstarter campaign was really successful and it was amazing. At the time, like daily projects weren't as prominent as they are now, so it got a little bit of traction on like design and illustration blogs where they were featuring it, because lots of people had done 365 projects, but this was 1,000. That's more than 365 a little bit. So I got to make this book. It was awesome, but it getting some traction on the internet and featured on some blogs led to this illustration rep in France seeing my work, and she was like, "Hey, I saw your work. I like it," with a very heavy French accent. And she's like, "Do you want to work together? The only catch is you'd have to be exclusive to me in France." And I was like, I think I can manage that. Never done anything in France. So really early on, she got me this project for McDonald's, which is ridiculous. I just want to point out, like, look at what they serve at McDonald's in France. Like, what even is that? I think it's a Tootie Bone Mimi Brie. Le Petit Baguette. And I even got to do a commercial. Hey, person, you switching me? He's got to switch my mic to the...
Before Thanksgiving and in every state, people are packing and, of course, running late. They pull out their phones to check.
We're good now? Okay, is this gonna work now?
Can yours still running in the background?
Oh, that's on my computer?
Yeah.
Boy, this is
Not pro.
this is not pro. Okay. Wow, this commercial is not that good. I'm sorry. So it's ready to go now? You got a clicker? Look at this.
Just put it in the USB. Put that in the bottom. Yeah.
Sorry guys, I'm here. What are you doing? Alright, I gotta go. Oh boy, this is awkward. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna not do the clicker. Okay, so I got to do a commercial.
Découvrez chez McDonald's le nouveau petit bagel pour seulement 2 euros. Savourez son cheddar fondu et ses fameux pain bagel aux graines de sésame pour seulement 2 euros chez McDonald's.
Nice.
Is this? Whoa. You're good. Thanks. Okay, so at this point, things were starting to not be as scary. I was getting sort of consistent client work. And the good thing about working for McDonald's is they have lots of money. So I was like, hey, I'm not going to be homeless for a little while. So I decided, everything at this point had been a result of my daily drawings. And I was like, I really need to step this up even further. So I decided that every drawing I produced was going to be a finished, complete illustration. These are a few of those illustrations. And these kind of more tightened up type lockups that were sort of logo-ish led to an art director at Facebook seeing it. Have you guys heard of Facebook? This is a really cool up-and-coming platform. And they asked me to do a series of, they call them stickers, but they're like emoticons. You send them messages. You guys probably know about this better than me. But anyway, I did this set. It was pretty amazing. It was fun. I actually did some other sets, but they're not out yet, so I can't show you. But they also asked me to do a set of these things called props, which when you upload a photo, you can put these stickers on them. These are my art directors. This is Biggie, Bluey, and Duke. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, see you guys later. You know what happened? Oh, there we go. Okay, that's them. So I made you guys this handy infographic, so you can go and download them yourselves. So everyone go do that now. Just kidding, don't do it now, pay attention to me. Okay. So I've been doing these drawings for a really long time. Sometimes things get a little weird. For some reason, I like to draw donuts, even really sad ones like this guy. He doesn't know. I don't know. And then sometimes it's pizza. This one, I guess, is seasonal. It's almost Christmas time. This is Jesus Christ. He says, pizza be with you. I'm sorry, Mom. And then more pizza. This is a Piascik quote, find what you love and let it kill you. Which pizza's gonna kill me at some point. And then sometimes it gets even weird. It's a vomiting donut pattern. So these are fun and just doing weird daily drawings, but I honestly, what possible application for client work could pizza and donut drawings and donut patterns? But I was wrong. And it was for a bike company too. This company called GT commissioned me to do a junk food pattern for seats and all kinds of parts. They even have them on tires. It honestly feels like someone's playing a joke on me at this point. So doing more work in the bike industry, the actual bike industry itself is actually pretty small. So when you do something, other companies see it. And that led to State Bicycle reaching out because they had all these cool photographs and they wanted me to do some lettering over them. This was the first time I'd actually done lettering on top of a photo in this way, and it was kind of fun. Got to do a whole series of these for ads. And this thing where I was drawing on photographs led to this this project for Boston Magazine. Is this any of your landlords? This guy's like an actual landlord in Boston, and he was like totally fine posing for this photograph. He's probably mad at me, but that was fun. So drawing on photographs led to this thing with Converse, which was actually done through Tumblr's ad agency, where they did a whole series of these 6-word story ads with different artists in their own shoes. Those are actually my shoes. When they asked me to do it, they're like, do you have All-Stars? I'm like, yeah, I have All-Stars, but I didn't have All-Stars at the time, so I was like, Shayna, go to the store, buy some All-Stars, I gotta do a drawing. So I like put them on and like ran around in the dirt, so they looked really good. Not that I don't like them, I've had All-Stars in the past, but I didn't have them then. So a few years ago, I went to grad school for illustration. I can talk about that forever, but I'm not going to because that's a different topic altogether, and it doesn't matter. The program I went to was a low residency program at the University of Hartford, and that means that we only meet a few times a year. Well, I don't meet anymore because I'm done. But we would meet in different locations, different cities. So every time we went to a different city, I would do this montage illustration about my experience while I was there. And this was the first time I had kind of done this really dense thing where I would have like big type and all kinds of little stuff happening around it. And you know what's happening next, at least in my work. So it's, it led to this illustration for Take Magazine. This is a little feature on a cool little town in New Hampshire. And then I get to do this poster for Converse Rubber Straps concert series, which was pretty cool. I teach part-time, like 2 classes a semester, teaching freshmen right now, and they think I'm pretty awesome because I did Joey Badass. So I have to pull that every now and then when they think I'm stupid. I'm like, yeah, but you remember Joey Badass? All right, fine. So lately I've been experimenting with these quick little kind of crude looping GIFs that I do a weird way in Photoshop, just drawing like, it's kind of like a flip book visually. But this was just a way for me to keep things fresh and try new things and also loosen up a little bit with my daily drawings. Been doing a bunch of these. This one was fall themed, Halloween, very spooky. Woo! But I really didn't see how this could work for a client, and I didn't really care about that. Like the drawing project was just to kind of draw more and have fun, and that's what these were. And I think if I actually tried to do stuff that was going to work for a client, I probably wouldn't get any work because I would just do weird stuff that I thought they needed. But I was wrong. Oh wait, we got a puking donut first. He's very sick. Yeah. Watch how he sucks it back up. Oh, there it goes. The endless loop of vomit. When I was doing this, I'm like, well, I want to make a donut puking, but how am I going to loop it? I'm like, oh, obviously, you just suck it up off the ground. So, this agency that's working on this youth platform for kids, it's kind of like LinkedIn, but for kids and teenagers for job opportunities, internships, and just like learning stuff. They wanted me to do a whole series of animations to use on the platform. This is one of them. And then this is another one. But yeah, these are a lot of fun. I do these like in such a weird way where I just draw it frame by frame. I never know how they're gonna look until the end, and then I'm usually like, oh, hey, that didn't look stupid. So it's kind of fun. I don't remember what's next. Okay, so I just recently hit 2,000 daily drawings, which is crazy to me. And I did. Thank you. So I knew that I was going to want to do another book, and self-publishing is probably the only way because it's so many drawings, so much crazy stuff, there's no real theme. So I went back to Kickstarter. I was even more terrified this time, but I was going to do another book, which was another 1,000 days of drawing, fittingly, to follow up 1,000 days of drawing. And just last night, my Kickstarter campaign was funded, so my book is happening. Thank you. And I'm really excited about doing another book. This one's going to be so much better. So, I mean, just like Jeb, I got a lot of really cool things to do. So, I don't know why I put this here, I just wanted to. So to end, I would like to use the theme twice in a 3-word sentence. Work begets work. And really, this is the only way to explain anything in my career at this point. Like, I just keep working because it's all I know how to do, and I'm hoping I can keep doing this forever. Because I don't have any other plan. So, thank you, everyone.
All right, we've got several minutes. If you have questions, just raise your hand. Chris will call on you. If you've got to run, don't worry about it. Just hop up and quietly make your way out. But yeah, so we can do Q&A for a few minutes.
Anybody? Please? Oh, we got 2. Purple first. Sorry for calling you purple. It's 2 of you.
One of the previous speakers, Josh.
Yeah.
I know you guys work a lot together, collaborate. How that can be, and does that help with your accountability?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, Josh is a really good friend of mine. When I worked at Alphabet Arm with Aaron and Ira, he's not here anymore. Aaron. Josh actually came up from Alabama to be our intern, and I just became friends with him there, and we stayed in touch. I got Josh to start the daily drawing project, and we kind of just, we both kind of work from home, so we're always like sharing stuff online and helping each other and giving. So we kind of like work together from afar, so we can give input and stuff like that. So I think having friends that do similar things to you is really great to bounce ideas off and kind of collaborate and do things together. And we have very similar, sense of humor and aesthetics, so we can do projects together. It's just, it's fun.
What did you get better at over 2,000 images before you not so did all of them get to be?
Yeah,
You
well,
feel like you got a lot from that?
I mean, I didn't show you a lot of the really bad drawings. I think some of the early ones and like the election collection, some of those are pretty crappy, but I guess they're more kind of about just like fitting out an idea quickly, if it made sense. But what did I get? I got better at everything. Like when I look at my current drawings versus ones even like a year or 2 ago, there's like a definite thing. Like it's huge difference. And I don't think I could have done that any other way. So the daily drawing project has been crucial, not only in getting work, but also improving me as an illustrator. Yes?
So, I noticed a lot of your work was animated, and did you work with other sort of like technologists or folks that are more in the, coding, computer side? Like,
Sure.
how was that creative and technology relationship? How does that work?
Well, for that McDonald's ad, they animated that one. As you can tell, it was much better than my animations. I just had to do several keyframes, and then I sent them to an animator, and then he would be like, do stuff, and he'd be like, I just need one more little thing, and then I would draw that. So they kind of did the legwork on that. The other animations are just like, I'm just doing them frame by frame. They're just simple, crude little things. So aside from the McDonald's thing, I do all my own animation. And I actually just do it in Photoshop, so it's not anything fancy. Behind you first. Sorry. He had his hand up first.
So as an artist, it's easy to be self-critical. So how do you define crappy to yourself?
How do I define crappy? I just look at some of them and I just think that they're awful. But I do that like every night when I'm doing drawing. I think it's crappy for a while, and then I'm finally like, all right, I think this is okay. But I think feeling that way helps me to get better. So I think if I thought everything was good, I probably would push myself to do more and maybe take it to another level or push or do a few more sketches. So I think, I'm probably harsher than I need to be, but I think that also helps.
I really like your work. It has a very organic feel to it. I was wondering if you like technical workflow is in terms of you start out on paper or.
Yeah, for like up until about a year and a half ago, I would do everything as a black line drawing on white paper, and I'd scan it color digitally. But I switched over to a Wacom Cintiq, it's like the display that you draw on. Yeah. The screen has got like a matte finish, and they make felt nibs, and it feels almost exactly like the way I used to work on paper. So it was a seamless transition for me. It was a very expensive purchase, but it's like improved my workflow so much, and like when I get revisions or edits from clients, I don't have to like erase stuff digitally, then print it, and then redraw it, and scan it, and color it again. It's just great, and I can zoom in and get better detail. It's just
You
fantastic.
still like brainstorm, sketch paper or anything like that? Or
No, I actually I use a sketch brush, so it looks like a pencil. I don't know why, but it's weird. I can't sketch with like a regular inking brush on the screen. I'm like, I need it to be a pencil. So I sketch with that pencil, and then I turn the opacity down and draw over it. I probably do that like 20 times. Your first, Nick. Dream project. Well, I recently got a project with Nickelodeon, which was, they were on my dream client list for a while. It's a small project, but I'm still in the door with them, so that's good. I don't know, I really love Vans shoes, so it'd be cool to do something with that, maybe some like patterns. I don't know. I keep kind of surprising myself with the work that I'm getting, and it's just, I feel lucky enough that I'm getting the work that I'm getting, so it all kind of feels like dream work.
You mentioned here earlier influences were, album artwork and band
Yeah.
logos. Who are some current artists that keep you inspired, that influence your ongoing evolution of your portfolio? And if you don't know them by name, what is some of the list you
Sure. There's lots of artists that I like. A lot of my friends really inspire me too, like Kurt Wallace and Josh, and a lot of the people I went to my grad school program with. Dan, actually, his work has a really loose, organic feel that I would love to be able to kind of loosen up with my stuff. But like contemporary artists like maybe John Bergerman, who does like really loose kind of playful stuff. I like his work. There's artists in France, Para, and like people who do like there's a kind of street artist who does more commercial stuff now named Espo. His work is all type driven, and that type is a big thing for me. So there's lots. I used to look at stuff a lot more, but I don't know if it's a result of being so busy or just kind of maybe being in the flow with doing my own thing that I don't look as much as I used to. So, but those are all definitely bouncing around in my brain. It's,
How do you handle a freelance schedule? I imagine you have like tons of work coming in sometimes and not a lot coming in other times.
I'm not good at handling it. Sometimes like not sleeping that much. Actually, I just got over an eye twitch that I had for 2 weeks. Because like I've been doing a lot of these little weird animations, and like I don't know what I'm doing when I make them. So when I was like estimating time, I thought it would take less time, and I did like 8 of them last week, and they're like crazy. So sometimes it's just I work too much and I get stressed out and I'm hard to deal with. But other times it works out. I wish I had a better answer. I don't. I'm winging it still. Anyone else? Yes?
What was your first BMX bike?
The first BMX bike, the first real BMX bike was a General Hustler.
Sounds like you.
What? Oh, that's fancy. Yeah. I wanted a Pro Series. I didn't have one though. Anyone? Oh, yes.
How hard is it for you to let go? How hard is it for you to say that this piece is
It's not that hard for me. Like how to let go and say it's finished? Well, usually it's hard for me in the sketch stage, getting it to where I want it to be. But once I get the sketch right, I kind of can tell what it's going to look like when it's finished. So sometimes I do too many sketches, but I guess that's a good thing. But usually when I get to the end, I'll let it go. Sometimes color is also a struggle for me. I tend to get frustrated trying to pick colors, so sometimes that's a struggle, but I'm kind of fine with it. I know it's going to be, I guess.
Is there a difference between your personal, like letting go of your personal work and letting go of your work work?
Yeah. Sometimes it's easier to let go with client work because they'll like tell me that they like it, and if I feel pretty good, I'll try not to question it. But if it's just like personal work and I'm kind of just like trying to be like approving it myself, it's sometimes a little harder.
All right, we're gonna end right there because we're out of time, unfortunately. So one more big round of applause.